We're getting a scraping sound from our Xterra in the passenger rear, and a quick look at the pads show that they're worn down, so I'm going to replace the pads and rotors today. This is a relatively easy job. There are two bolt sizes you need. There's two 14s and two 19s. There they are up top. The 14s hold the caliper in place, and the 19s hold the bracket, and the same thing down at the bottom of the caliper. So I'm starting with the upper guide pin bolt, and the first thing I notice is there's no tension on the bolt. And there is my problem. The guide pin bolt is broken up top. So I'll replace the guide pins and the bolts top and bottom. The lower pin comes out normally, and this bolt is what both of them should have looked like. So now I'm going to remove the caliper and just set it off on the leaf spring. Now I'm removing the brake pads. The easiest way is grab the outer edge and just slide it sideways, and they'll pull right out of the hardware. You can see both of mine are very worn down. It's definitely time to replace them. And now I'm taking off the brake hardware. These are just sheet metal pieces that pop right off. Now I'm working on the two 19mm bolts that hold the brake caliper bracket in place. So with those bolts out, we can pull the bracket off. And now the rotor just slides right off. Okay. After cleaning everything up, I am replacing the rotor with a brand new one. And this is the bracket that holds the caliper. I'm going to put that back in place with the two 19mm bolts. Now I'm replacing the hardware, and this is pretty easy. The trick to this is the inner part, the part that's closer to the rotor. Put those sides down first, and then click it into place in the front part. It takes a little monkeying with them to get them into place sometimes. So once those have clicked in, it's time to add the new pads. Do you see the little tab hanging off the side of this one? That goes on the passenger inside top. I don't know what the purpose of that tab is, but that's where it goes. And to put these in, the easiest thing is to put the back part in first, and then rotate the front into place until it clicks. Now I'm replacing the guide pin and the guide pin bolts. I'm replacing top and bottom, and there's a difference in the two of them. The bottom pin has this little rubber guide on it. That stops it from rattling around and keeps it steady. And for brake grease, you have to use specific brake grease. You can't just use a regular bearing grease or something. It'll overheat and won't function correctly. This is Silglide synthetic brake grease. I think it's probably the best one. So a little bit on the tab and a little bit on the hole that it goes into. We'll do that top and bottom. Then this rubber sleeve goes over the pin, and it attaches to the bottom of the pin. The rubber just slides on and grabs onto it. And the same thing with the upper pin. You notice there's no rubber sleeve on this one, just some grease on the pin itself. And then the rubber boot goes over the top and again attaches to the bolt. Okay. So the upper pin goes in the upper hole. And make sure that the rubber boot catches onto the bracket. The same way that it attaches to the bolt, it slides over a lip on the bracket, and that way it can go in and out without disconnecting. Same thing on the bottom here. And this is what happens if the bolt, if it doesn't connect, it'll come off while you're driving, fill up with dirt, and your brakes will fail. So make sure those are on there. Then the caliper itself goes back in. I expanded the piston a little bit with a C-clamp. That's really easy to do. And then the new guide pin bolts go in. I'm holding the guide pin in place with one wrench and tightening it with the other, and then finally I'll come back and torque it to 19 feet. And that's it. We're all done. Put the tire back on and you're ready to go.